Oh, hi, Bandit. Just in time.
Hey.
Hi, Bandit.
Hey, sorry for the delay. I hope Alex was able to tell you I was gonna be late.
Yep.
Tell us what.
No problem.
Yeah. You're just in time, really.
Just
Okay.
in time.
For VOD review.
Okay.
Yep, so Bandit, you can access the visor link.
Okay.
It's in team chat.
Yep. That's where we will be reviewing it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
Did you request a mercy?
The first map here
I will need a mercy.
is the new Paris map.
Taco.
I mean, I'll switch then.
Is the volume right?
It's a little quiet for me. Is there any way I can turn you up?
If you click on her, you should be able to turn her a bit.
Okay, so I did review this map before practice.
It's good.
Yep.
Okay.
So there was some late changes here. You can see Photo, I think, asked for the Mercy, and then we started off on Moira, kind of switched to Mercy late. And so this is the team comp we ran with for a while. So we're running Dive, and then we have the Pharmacy, which does work nicely with Dive. Now, the McCree... The problem with McCree here is that he doesn't have any shields. He can't dive with the tanks. And because we're running the Pharmacy, that pretty much leaves Lucio as kind of the only source of healing for him. So he doesn't have a lot of protection, and he's not going to get a lot of healing. And if you can make it work, that's fine, but that's just something to keep in mind, and I think that kind of put us at a disadvantage, potentially. But let's go ahead and keep going here.
So Mercy, Lucio, healers.
Junkrat.
And this is good, like, we're calling out what the enemy's running.
I'm gonna. Maybe I feel like. Well, let's.
So what happened here is, Photo, you were playing Pharah, and you got picked first. And what I actually heard when I was watching this is that I think you said, like, group up with me.
Junkrat.
And an Ashe and a D.Va and Orisa up on high
Yep,
ground.
so Photo, you're saying come with me, and then no one really followed up, so you were kind of by yourself there. And so the whole enemy team's focusing you down, and then you kind of die. And Carol tries to save you, but comes
Watch
there
out,
in time.
They're all still high ground.
Ashe is on point by herself.
And then I see Cloud decides to dive the team up here, but I mean, look how spread out we are. No one else is really diving with her except Carol. You're kind of helping her out there, but otherwise we're down one. We're split. We're not really diving
Push the
together.
point if we can.
Okay.
Now this was a good coordination with everyone rotating over to the point.
Focus
On
D.Va.
D.Va. D.Va's half.
D.Va's one.
D.Was one.
And you can see, like, this Ana, and it does get called out later, this Ana is a great dive target because she's by herself. She's a main healer. You definitely want to try to dive her if you can. And there was that call out later. Here we go.
D-Max.
There's
Ana's
an
on
Ana
high
the
ground.
balcony.
There's
and
a...
So Ana's on high ground.
Junkrat,
And then we definitely follow up here. So this is
Orisa coming.
that was
Orisa
good to
coming.
see. Unfortunately, we just kind of get
Try to
bursted
get the
down
Ashe
during
to
this
come
fight.
over.
You can see the Junkrat on the enemy team's doing a lot of work. And I'm not sure about this res here because you can see we're down almost our entire team. It looks like Pharmacy's just the only one left. And so we res D.Va. The whole enemy team is pretty much alive at this point. And the baby D.Va dies right away. She can't get into mech. So if you do res a D.Va, you want to try to kind of pocket her a little bit while she's getting into mech so she doesn't die right away. But also this was just a lost fight, so probably shouldn't have res there. And, you know, now that you can definitely see it's just Pharmacy left, you definitely just want to back out, get out of there. Unfortunately, we do kind of, you know, hang out here. Now, if you wanted to build your ult charge, maybe back up over here and fire down on them like this, so that way, if you needed to go back around the corner here, you could heal up with the rest of your team. But here, you're both out in the open. You're by yourself. The whole team's going to target you.
It's just you two up on point.
Okay, coming back. I've almost got
Now you're
fire
kind of backed up. It looks like the team's
damn
mostly regrouped, but then Photo goes down against the Ashe. And Photo, I did notice that the Ashe gave you quite a bit of trouble. So I think that's something just maybe that could have been a change done earlier. I'm not sure if
I
the
got
pharmacy
trapped.
was really working because you got picked quite a bit by that Ashe. Yep, and now we're down Lucio.
I think the heals are lacking, Photo. I think I might switch to Moira.
And I like that you said something there, Carol, about switching to Moira. That's something definitely that you as like the healer for the team you want to judge, and if you feel like your whole team's always low health, definitely want to point that out, make those changes, and it's good that you let Photo know that if you do switch to Moira, you're not going to be pocketing her anymore. So I do like that call out there.
I mean, I can switch
I'll
off
be
of
more
Lucio,
careful.
but it won't be as divey, I guess.
Yeah, and right there,
Don't worry,
Kitty.
don't worry.
Okay.
Let me back up here. You were kind of by yourself.
Do it, do it.
I mean, I can switch
I'll
off
be-
of...
And maybe that just wasn't the team calling, like, back out, regroup. But you can see you're by yourself here, and then
I'll
you
be
get
more
picked
careful.
because no one
but it
else
won't
is
be
there with
as
you.
divey, I guess.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Pharah's being
Potentially, we could punish this diva. She just boosted into the team, and she's by herself.
is being countered with the Ashe anyways.
But it looks like no one
Yeah.
really did anything about her. She was able to just kind of walk out. And this Valk here, I know why you did it, Carol. It's because
Yeah.
you wanted to save yourself.
Yeah, I think the Pharah's being countered with
As you can
the,
see, your health
the
just
Ashe
drops to
anyways.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked in this instance, but I would kind of hesitate to do that in the future because there's a lot of times where you end up valking to try to save yourself and you just die, and now you don't have that ultimate anymore.
Well, I also pretty much threw it because I
You were going to
was
switch to
wanting-
Moira?
Yeah.
That's a good point, yep. Then in that case, that could work. Yeah, so Photo got picked again. That's what I mean, like, I don't know if the pharmacy was working.
Go with them, go with them.
Let me kind of do this push here. It was great that no one got caught in the diva bomb. I was afraid that someone was going to, and I did notice that Taco, you put on that speed boost here, and that helped get everyone out, so that was definitely a good use of
And
Lucio
if
right
I got
there.
on the balcony when
Be
both
careful,
Junkrat
Anna.
And there's
But
another
he
call
has
out for
a-
Ana
Which
up top.
direction is the balcony? I don't know.
Left.
where Diva's at.
I have ult.
Justice reigns from above.
Damn it.
It's 60 seconds.
Thank you.
I have ult too, if we want to get on point and engage.
Okay, so now we're back to
Diva slow.
4.
The Junkrat's in the balcony. Oh no, that's Ashe.
Oh no, I got booped!
Yeah, and this is something to watch out for. And I know that this is partially because the map's new. We're not really aware of where everything is. But yes, you can easily get booped off this point here. So if the enemy's running Lucio or a Pharah, maybe the Orisa can even pull you off. Just be careful being near this edge here, because actually 2 of you almost died to the boop there.
Oh,
Or maybe
no, I
even
got
3. Okay, so this fight's lost.
I'm switching May.
30 seconds.
So I did like the Mei switch. Photo maybe could have done that a little bit earlier. And maybe you didn't want to do that because you wanted to keep your Pharah ult. I personally think that Pharah ult is not a really valuable ultimate, and it's not worth keeping if you're holding on to it and trying to find the right moment to use it. It's oftentimes better just to switch off and kind of like lose that ultimate and switch to something that's more useful for the team at that moment. Because you even saw like when you used it, it didn't really get any picks. So sometimes it's better just to switch and lose the ult, and I think the Pharah ult is one of those
Last push.
that you're okay with
4 health, I can't go in yet.
abandoning.
What ult do we have?
And here, Kitty, I'm not sure.
Can't go in.
I don't know if it's because we're at the last few seconds and
Last
maybe you
push.
thought you had a touch
I
here,
have 4 health,
but
I can't go in yet.
this is definitely
do we
not
have?
something that we wanted to do, because you're by
Yeah,
yourself
it's because
there.
of that.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta get to the point because I thought
Mhm.
everyone was like
Yeah.
really far back.
Yeah, you had a little bit of time. And then Photo, you could have. I don't know why you ice blocked here. We didn't really need that. This would have been a great tool to use to stall point if needed. But you kind of just blocked for a second and then got out.
I think it's got a touch.
And that's on the balcony, by the way. Photo.
Yep, and then this wall, I like the idea of this wall because you have Arisa ulting. As the bomb goes out, you could potentially take a bunch of damage here, and the wall could block it. Probably could have done it even like right here, because the wall would have been higher up and blocked even more of the damage since Arisa's already on high ground and can kind of like aim over it. But I did like the idea of the wall there.
Shell, you're native. Dana drop. He's by the stairs.
We got
Okay,
this.
so I'm gonna go back, and I want you guys to kind of keep an eye on the kill feed and see if you notice anything with how did we take this
4 health, I
point.
can't go in yet.
What ult do we have? We don't have any.
So you can see we're down 2. We're a 4v6 right now.
I think it's got a touch.
Okay, we
That's
rotate
on the
onto
balcony,
point.
by the way. Photo.
Bomb goes down.
Shell, you're native. Dana drop. He's by the stairs.
Anna's just kind of hanging out here, and then she runs away. So that whole push, we didn't get any picks. For some reason, they actually just backed out
Yeah,
and
totally backed out.
gave it to us, which I just thought was kind of bizarre.
Yeah, that's weird.
But that's just something to kind of keep in mind that we didn't really get a lot of crucial picks, but we somehow still got the point. So I think we need to coordinate a little bit better with how we get those picks,
We got this.
because we kind of got that point for
Nice
free
job.
there.
Okay, I
What
haven't played
else
this map,
does
so I have no
they
idea
have?
where to go on this second point.
Just follow the
Orisa
giant
used
jumping in.
her
Yeah.
supercharge.
Were they trying to prolong the match?
Lucio used Hazel.
It's possible. Maybe they wanted to play the defense on the second point. I'm not sure, but that was just really strange to me.
Also, no Ashe ult.
Okay.
I like the communication of ults. That's good. We're all grouped here together and pushing
Is it a
together,
mix?
which is good to see.
Watch tire.
And that's just unfortunate the tire came through. We couldn't bust it down. And then here you can already see we're down 4. Like this fight is definitely lost, right? But you can see 2 of us are here. I think, let's see, Taco's playing Lucio. You potentially could have gone out here. If you thought you were gonna die, you can just reset down here, or you could potentially wall ride and get out this way. But what I see happen here is you get set on fire and then you kind of got chased down.
Hi, Cloud.
Okay. We are
Medium
4,
Diva. Alright.
5.
No
Okay, let me
jump
skip
twice.
ahead a little bit here.
Ash used both.
Yeah, but she must be close to you.
Again, we're communicating alt status of the enemy team, which is great. I love hearing that.
No, he didn't.
Seen a beat. Okay, I have primal.
Alright,
Keep
good
going,
grab.
keep going.
Trying to push in.
I'm gonna jump in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in on their healers. But I got anti. Primaling.
Destroy the supercharge.
I have ult.
Versus
Nice.
one.
So we actually
Focus
got
Ash
some
in the
nice
corner.
picks here.
Ash is
Unfortunately,
somewhere.
a lot of us got antied
Destroy the
here.
supercharge.
And when you get antied, you kind of want to play
Versus
it
one.
safe until the anti wears off. So you can see Taco here. This is what I noticed. You're very low health. You're also antied. But then you also
Focus Ash in the corner.
push forward,
Ash is
and then you
on the
just
roll.
kind of
Yeah.
get attacked by the diva. So I would have kind of tried to hang where you could be behind cover, and still kind of in the radius of your team, at least until you can kind of heal yourself up, because you don't want to get picked there. So there's only 2 of us left. A lot of the enemy teams here. But look how many ults they start using. They use Beat, they use Tire, they use Diva ult for pretty much a fight that was already won by them. So that was kind of nice that they used all of those there.
I have my ult.
It's right here. Yeah,
What
same.
do we combo?
It's better just to reset. Now here, while you're
you have-
waiting, Taco, you can put on speed boost and taxi some of the rest of the team that's
yeah.
coming back from spawn now, because a few people got picked late. So that's what I do during this downtime here. Just go up, put speed, bury them back.
If we can't combo, just try to get the healers.
And then it looks like we go left
Okay,
again.
we're
Are you
going?
able to like walk through to that high ground where Ash
We
was
went
sitting and
outside,
just
which
kinda
was
drop down on
interesting.
them?
Yeah.
We'd have
Like,
to
come
Dynamite,
go.
dynamite.
walking up the stairs.
There's
at
no
them.
dynamite.
We'd have to walk right by their spawn.
This blizzard was a little risky because Diva was there and she tried to
dynamite.
DM it.
We'd have
can
to
see
walk
she's right here,
by their
And she
spawn.
put on DM to try to eat it.
I got
This
the
was a
Rhine.
Bob to the right.
good pick on the frozen Ryan. We could have potentially picked this
I got the Rhine.
frozen
right.
Junkrat as well.
Stupid diva.
Now it looks like Bob got
Dynamite,
quite a
dynamite.
few of us here. Let me
Spawn.
take a look here. And also huge
I
anti.
got the Rhine.
Bob to the right.
It looks like Photo tried to use the wall to block maybe that McCree ult. And then I did like the focus here by Bob onto the icicle. That was good here. But we're down to 30 seconds. Gotta reset fast.
Let's go.
30 seconds remaining.
Come on, come on, come on. We going
Yep.
for main?
Few ults here.
Yep.
We
Sounds
get a
good.
So what we could do is we could push in with Beat. Or actually Moira ult. Maybe Moira ult just in case we do need Beat for later. Because kind of know, like I said, they used a ton of ults that last fight. And I think the only ult here that you can kind of help with the Beat would be if your team gets shattered. Everything else, it's kind of like a burst damage. It's hard to use Lucio Beat for. And you could use it for Ashe, but Ashe already used her ult, so this would be the ult I would be trying to plan for as a support to try to use your ultimate to counter.
They split, they split.
Now, I do like the idea of splitting the team here. What would have been a little bit better, if possible, is to put the wall behind the Rhine. So if I back up a little bit, he kind of backs up so he can't get walled off.
They split, they split.
Focus Ryan. Focus Ryan.
Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan?
And it looks like we used both of our
They split, they split.
support ults pretty
focus Ryan.
quickly.
Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan?
I got shattered. I'm stuck.
And unfortunately, that Ryan
Place. Sorry.
picked a bunch of you.
Oh, big! Big, big, big!
So, I'm not sure if there's like a ton of target focus yet. Cause like Ashe is by herself here. The Ana was just getting huge nades on you guys, and that really hurt. So some of those targets we definitely want to call out and try to focus.
We running 2 main.
Third place. Yeah.
We don't have because often.
I'm gonna skip ahead here. Did anyone have any questions about that? No? Okay. So for defense, we're running... I really like this defensive setup. We got the Orisa, although... Orisa's kind of interesting on this point. I do like her shield here. I think that was something that maybe we saw the enemy run, and then we did something similar, so... I did like seeing that. It's just there's not a ton of heroes that might necessarily use the shield.
Call your Discords, Taco, and we will unalive them.
Alright.
And Mei is really, really good on this point for just walling people off. And I'll show you in a second. Right here. Put a wall right here. Rhina's by himself. Then everyone just jump on him. Even if we couldn't get Ryan by himself and maybe you got like, let's say the Ryan and the Brigitte, something like that. You're still splitting the team and it's basically a 2v6, you know? You can definitely win that. Okay?
Discord on the diva.
They're going behind.
And Junkrat's great for here because you can just spam into this hallway. And there's nothing
Behind us?
much that the enemy can do about
Rotating
it. So I do like the
slightly.
Junkrat pick for that.
Discord's on the diva.
I can see we're
Seriously,
alternating the
baby?
ice block, the wall to try to separate them.
Yep. Going to point.
And it's good that we touched point before we gave them
Discord
that
on
free
Ryan?
tick. We all moved together as a
Breaking.
group. We're all kind of hugging
on
this
Zarya.
side of the point right here, which was good.
Lucio low, Lucio low.
He's low in mech.
He healed.
Diva's 1.
This Lucio, though, potentially
slow?
could have been bursted down. He was like in your team right here.
Lucio low, Lucio low.
He's low in mech.
He healed.
Diva's 1.
Lucius slow.
Nice.
And you could have potentially staggered this baby diva,
slow?
too. Just like let her live. And she's gonna waste time just like shooting at you, trying to build her mech up. And then you can maybe get a late kill on her and stagger her pretty hard. Even if she does get her mech and leave, it's still like,
Nice.
it's not
That
doing
was so
anything. You can heal up that damage, it's not gonna kill you, so that gives her support some ult charge. And it puts her kind of in a
Yes,
weird
let's do it.
situation. So you could leave her there.
Yeah. This is coming from there.
And I don't know what this Lucio's doing. This one's...
Sorry, is discorded?
he's not with his team. That's not a good way to play Lucio.
Diva's flying left.
They're split, they're split, they're split.
Discord on the Rhine.
Now here, this was a little risky photo. Because you kind of went in here, you're using your ice block to split them, which was interesting, but it also leaves you in the middle of the entire team.
Discord on the Rhine.
So that was... I was afraid you were
Right
gonna
side.
die there. I would try to
I'm
use
moving the
maybe your wall more to split.
Discord on the Zarya.
Now we're all
Ryan
on
can
point
enter the
here.
point.
Bongo on point.
And the Zen ult was needed to save Cloud, so I do like
Be
that.
careful. He's underneath.
And this is just we kind of got picked. I guess they just damaged through some of our support ults, and we lost the point. At this point, just back out, regroup.
Okay, let's prepare.
New defense point. Objective B.
Their
coming
tanks
main.
are main.
Coming main.
I have my ult. Can we combo?
I
They're go-
do think potentially this tire was a little early.
They're going to be.
Because we use tire, and then you'll see in a second too, we also use Blizzard. So we use 2 ults on a
For the
fight.
healers.
On a fight they didn't really initiate on. They didn't use any of their ultimates on yet. Well, now they use the Shatter.
Ryan dead.
Nice.
This is kind of a messy fight. But we do have 2 or 3 picks now, so we definitely win this. If you wanted to go really aggro, you could speed into them, knowing that they're down a couple.
Right.
But
Yeah.
sometimes it's better just to regroup here anyways.
They're main again.
Discord on the diva.
Speed up a
Going
little
left.
bit.
Going left again.
My shields
Yep.
are about half.
Right, here they come.
Yep, they're close.
And this was
Discord on Brigitte.
another
Yep, they're-
unfortunate pick here. And I think, Kitty, what you're trying to do is mind jump,
Right, here they
because I
come.
watched this a couple times. I think what you're trying to do is mind jump out, maybe, back here.
Yeah.
And then you got caught in the ceiling, and then you were just in a bad spot, and you couldn't get out.
They're close.
Because the wall blocked you here, and then you kind of got,
Discord on Brigitte.
yeah, channeled over there. Look at the way we're positioned. We're kind of everywhere on the point, right? Okay, so we got the Moira ult coming out.
Big slam.
Shatter connected with Moira, but there just wasn't follow-up, and maybe that's just we're not communicating, like, when you're ulting.
Discord on the Zarya.
In photo, you could have stayed in ice block and survived this grab. That might have just been a misclick, but in that case, it would have been better to stay in the ice
Discord on
block.
the Zarya.
I shattered.
Nice, nice, nice.
And that Ryan just,
Oh,
he got a pretty clutch shatter there, and that kind of cleaned it up
Touch
there.
Somebody can.
Ah.
Good try.
But also, this second point defense is really hard to hold, so that's just something we're just gonna learn over time how to play on that map. Who's gonna see? I'm trying to skip ahead. Any questions about the Paris map?
I was thinking, like, initially, you were talking about how we chose McCree, and he's not like a really divey character. Like,
Yep.
what other character would you have chosen instead?
Yeah, the classic dive characters would be a Tracer and a Genji, which I know might not be part of our hero pool yet. Pharah Pharmacy is always nice with dive, I think. You could do a Sombra. Something with mobility is what I'm looking for. Something that can go in with the tanks, do damage. Doomfist would also work there.
It's time for a kitty Genji.
So anything that
Tracer,
has that
okay.
mobility to get in there and do some damage with the tanks there, that would be
Alright.
better. And if we can't run that, maybe like even a soldier just to have some sustain.
That's the one I was thinking.
If we can't run a dive DPS, something with a little more sustain, because unfortunately McCree is one of those characters who kind of needs to be babysat, whether that's behind a shield or with a pocket healer. He just dies pretty quickly. And we didn't really have either of those for you, so that's why maybe even a soldier, just so you could heal yourself, might have been even a better choice.
Alright.
So when we're running dive like that,
Mhm.
who should be calling out the targets?
The dive
That we
target?
all focus, yes.
That would be, I would say, the tanks. Usually I rely on Winston to do that when I play in dive comps. Winston will say, like, diving Zen, and then he dives in, and then D.Va follows and DMs to protect him when needed. And then you just kind of burst down whoever you're diving. And ideally, whoever you're diving would be by themselves, like off to the side. Usually something like a Zen or an Ana. You could dive the whole upper portion that platform everyone was on, but you just have to be kind of careful, and you all have to go in together at the same time. You definitely don't want to go in one by one.
Yeah, you were saying that in the second point we were to spread out. What position should we have taken in that second point?
Here, let me go back. Really strong again.
Right?
Yeah.
See, and because this is the new map, I don't even know like what the ideal position is. Whether that's like we have some people set up on this high ground here. The enemy kind of has high ground up here, so that's something we might want to keep in mind. Maybe we try pushing like for our attacks up here, so we get a little bit more high ground. This map is so new that even I don't know the ideal positions, but maybe I would have taken like a corner. Even if we wanted to maybe do like, I don't know, something like this corner, just so we're all kind of together. So, because we want the Moira heals, we want the Rhine shield, but you can see it kind of like someone's here, some of us are down here. So that's I guess what I mean by we're split. We're not healing and shielding our team together. So if we're grouped up a little bit more, I think it would help. And usually that kind of means taking a corner, maybe like even if we were, because we just need at least one person on point, right, to contest. We could have healers, like if needed, they could find some cover back here potentially, right? Or even back here if needed.
I think I was in that corner you just pointed at.
Yeah, so maybe you set up here, then the healers can be like in this corner here. That's just an idea. I don't know yet what the meta is for this map, but we definitely want to be grouped a little bit more, I think. Good question.
Slam.
Oh. So I remember I kind of warned you guys, like, hey, they might run goats. And it looks like that's exactly what they did, was they ran goats. So just keep that in mind when you're playing, like, what might they run, what comps are good on which maps. And usually anything that has like a capture point like this, goats is pretty strong on for attack.
Discord on the Zarya?
Attack.
And Cloud, you build ult so fast. Look, you're already at 98. Just because you're swinging here, and the team did a great job just supporting you so you could get the damage in without dying. So that was good to see. And then the Moira ult's also fast. Now you got two crucial picks. You definitely win this fight. Use speed boost and try to clean up what you can while still being able to get out. You don't want to get picked while you're chasing kills. But you definitely won that one. That was a good.
So we should have chastened the team that in that moment.
Yeah, I think so. Let's go back here a little bit. So you see Rhine dies, and then the Moira dies. So they're without a tank and their main heals. So And we also have our Moira ulting, so we have a ton of healing. I would put speed boost on and just clean up.
Lucio's
It looks like their Lucio kind of saw what was going on, and he actually sped the team out, helped them get out quickly because he knew the fight was lost. So that was good on his part. But still, we could have speed boost and try to get some picks potentially.
They're getting back.
But you don't want to go so far forward where now they're regrouped and then one of us gets picked. So you kind of have to be a judge of where that is at.
Back.
I think if they're past, especially if they're past this wall here, so if they were kind of still around here, you know, something like that, you could definitely try to burst them down.
Breaking shield. Shield half.
Ryan's half.
Discord on the Rhine.
Good job avoiding that diva bomb. I was also scared of that one. You guys did great there.
Discord on
I
Rhine.
have dragons. I have
Here, uh-oh. You know what the problem is, right?
All across
Spread
the
out.
map.
We're super separated.
I was
It's
like,
half
oh
of
no.
the team on one side and the other half on the other.
Yeah. Now, Kitty, I do like your positioning here on Junkrat. You have high ground. You're just raining your spam on them, and they can't do anything about it, right? The only mobile hero they have is D.Va, and D.Va hasn't bothered you, I don't think, at all. So I do like that you're sitting up here. The rest of the team, though, unfortunately, Taco, you're over here. I'm not sure. Is this photo over here? Yeah. So we're split. Ideally, we would have all wanted to rotate back towards this corner. I kind of want to rewatch and just see what happened.
Yeah,
Why
I
did
think
we get
Diva
split?
Bomb scared us off and we didn't have time to think, just like
Mhm.
getting to the closest hiding spot.
That could have been it. Let's just take a look again because I
On the
want to
right?
see that.
I was
Yep.
still perched in the sniper
Discord on the Rhine.
side,
Okay. Yeah, and
but Diva go for me,
Okay.
and I panicked.
okay. Yeah, because usually Hanzo's okay too, like if you're on high ground up here or right up here too.
Yeah,
I-
I was in the first thing you painted on.
Yep.
I was there, and
You're here,
Diva
yep.
Diva went for me, and I panicked.
Yep. Yeah, next time if you cannot panic, probably what I would have done, like if I was over here, is use your jump and climb maybe up this wall here, and then you can, you know, go this way or down the stairs wherever you need to go. Probably towards the team this way would be better. Because if D.Va uses her boosters to get up to here, she can't chase you. I mean, she can fire at you from here, but she can't chase you because her boosters are on cooldown. If you went over to this platform instead. Yep. Okay, yep, and I see Taco, you went in here to hide from the Diva Bomb. And then it's at that point you probably
What
should
bumped
have.
Rhine back so far?
Yeah, I think I was afraid of stepping out right in front of him and getting slammed by the brig.
Yeah.
So it was just unlucky.
Yep, definitely.
What bumps Cloud there?
I didn't even notice that. What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it a bomb?
Oh,
I think it's Brig.
Cause like Taco, I
have
Taco got split, but I was like, then when we replay, like she's by Rhine, but then
Yeah.
Rhine gets like popped, and I was like, what?
Yeah, because if we could have had Cloud like shield here, so Taco could go back this way.
Anytime I
Yeah.
dropped shield, Brig was throwing me halfway across the map, it felt like.
Mm-hmm. The joys of playing Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Just get booped everywhere.
I have dragons.
Alright, ready?
Damn it!
Oh, so Taco, you actually ulted, which I think is good because we want to try to keep this point alive, and I think they use Grav, but they use Grav on you. Okay, so that saved you. We're trying to keep the point alive, and we did try to go this way. Okay, here's the Grav. Yeah, at this point they're just kind of throwing ults at you. This tire, we do not want to use this tire. So we're already down so many.
Damn it! I was killed.
For some reason we go this way. I see the healers over here. We could have, you know, gone here, and even if we did get grav, usually Moira can kind of sustain if these guys aren't all attacking you. Moira can try to out heal it, use an orb and heal if possible.
I think Ryan is going that way, so I was trying to follow.
Okay.
It looks like they were all diving Cloud, and I was just trying to keep Cloud.
Yeah. It's just difficult once you're split because Moira can't really be in two places at once, right? But here, yeah, we do not want to tire. We're down way too many.
Sorry about that.
So just give them the point, and then yeah, don't contest it, please. Because you're gonna die right away. You're gonna feed them some alt charge, and then you're going to respawn way at the last spawn. So if possible, I would have just like tried not to draw their attention and get out this way and out this window.
They're taking point. I'll take position.
And I like that photo. You backed up. You knew it was lost. Gave them that space. Regroup. That was good. You're on high ground here. I like that. Although you can't really fire at them, but if they come around this corner,
Ryan's gonna have shatter.
Discord on the Rhine. He's low.
He's half.
huge pick there.
Diva's
Diva
going
just
behind.
flew around to the left. Yep, she's gonna go behind. Junkrat, she's near you somewhere.
Okay. I know Diva's in the back line, but Cloud's up here. We got the tanks up here, but no one else is with them.
Yeah, I should try to bully me.
So support just kind of, you can come a little closer maybe to this corner here. I'm just looking at our comp too. So this is kind of the disadvantage of not running the Lucio. Is it's harder to reposition. So I can kind of see why you want to play a little more safe, because they could easily speed boost into you and you can't really get out of there fast. But you also don't want to leave your tanks by themselves.
Oh, she's going back. She's flying back.
Yeah, I did hear the Diva, so I was just trying to
Yeah.
stay back to
Right now.
heal anyone if you needed.
Sure.
I have Shatter.
And Cloud is just going super aggro.
I got stunned.
Oof.
Shatter.
Yeah, so this aggression, like, it can work, but you definitely want to have your team with you. And it looks like we were doing that, you know, trying to protect her while she's doing that. I would just, it's still a little risky because their whole team's there, and you got Bash there.
Yeah, we
And then-
probably should have just communicated to Cloud like that she needed to come back a little bit, or that we weren't that close. Because I know as tank sometimes you don't realize.
Yeah.
everyone's spread out.
Yep.
Too
So
busy
the other,
seeing red.
yeah. So everyone else probably should have said something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't actually watching because I was returning from the flank I was trying to do,
Oh, okay.
and then I died.
Oh
And
no.
then I died.
Yeah, and this Diva Bomb, because we were so aggro up here, we didn't have a shield for everyone here. And when you're Moira ulting, there's nothing you can do if the Diva Bomb lands there, unfortunately. Same with Zen, just there's no mobility there. If we had Lucio, we could speed out, but it just didn't work out that way. It was kind of a lucky bomb on their part. And I can understand being Zen wanting to save yourself there, and yeah, again, you don't want to tire there. The fight's lost. Just save it for when we have our whole team. Like, if we have our whole team right here, right? We're all fighting here, you know, we're all grouped up. And then maybe Junkrat's up here. And the enemy team's now here, right? And they're all fighting here. If we could tire, like, from behind, maybe even up this corner that you know is back here, right? And then put a tire right behind them, that would be a huge ult, right? And that could win the fight. But this tire here just it didn't really achieve that. And Taco, you want to get out of there. Don't rotate this way. Get out of there.
Ryan's really out of place right now. It's half, but I'm stuck.
Yeah, you're alone up there.
Yeah.
Hello.
So at this point, I'll have to listen to comms. I'm not sure if we said anything, but I would make a decision whether you're going to contest point or not. Because we're kind of pushing up, right? If we wanted to give them point, we would come back probably here, right? Around this corner. But if we're wanting to contest, we want to push up all together. But it seemed like there was some uncertainty what we were doing here.
Zarya's in the
Zarya's alone on the
Right?
left.
and I
Shield
can't
breaking.
Okay,
shield
so we're
breaking.
kind of after the Zarya, and we're giving them point, but we're still pretty far up here. And Cloud, you get picked because the team's not there. It's a little aggro, and this was then a shatter that was kind of easy because
Just
there's
on
no
the right?
shield. And at this point, supports if you can get
Do we
out,
have grab?
do that. Looks
Yeah,
like
but
we
I'm
did.
They have dragons.
Oh, I see.
Discord on the Ryan, he's half.
Alright, I'm gonna grab on payload.
Let me know.
It also seems like we've been holding on to ults for quite a while, right? We haven't. Is this our first grab? And then I'm not sure if we really shattered at all. Dragons, not really. There's been some Moira ults and some Zen ults, so I've seen support ults, but this is kind of what I mean about like we gotta time our ults a little bit better. Once we're all together, we kind of want to push with some of those ults, but
at one point
we're not really ulting until now. Diva just gets another one, and I think that's just the grab Diva bomb combo.
Sure.
Healers, okay.
Okay,
Or,
and then
sorry,
we ran goats, and I was excited for this because I don't think we've really played goats together really as a team yet, right?
Brig is definitely good.
Defend objective
I don't think we have, except for maybe like once
Mm-hmm.
on some practice or something.
Yeah, so I like
The
seeing
right,
that.
She's gonna come around behind us.
Either we're
There's,
gonna get the widow.
Keep on Ryan alive.
Ooh, when this Rhine charge, I'm like, please get the Rhine. He's free. He's free. He's right here. Just seemed we were kind of slow
Rhine's
on
half.
noticing that
Rhine's
and following up there. And so he was able to get out.
There's someone sniping
I'm
someone.
gonna go get Widow in the back.
But you know what's great here? We just pushed point, right? We didn't like hang out at the choke, you know. We all pushed point pretty quickly here. This was a good initiative by the team. And then Cloud got a fast shatter.
Slam.
Nice.
This is what's scary about goats.
Ground.
They can't really do much.
Behind us to the left. They're in the room.
Where's Widow?
She's
She
dead.
just died. Yep.
I'm gonna
Alright,
push
you
up,
wanna
keep
push
them
up?
from
Yeah.
pushing in.
Yeah, I think we could also potentially push up sooner. We could leave maybe even like the Brig on point, and have Lucio push with speed boost with the tanks. Because you know the enemy's not going to try to recontest, right? So we can have one person on point, just letting it cap, while the rest of the team pushes forward and tries to get whoever's kind of staggered out here. So we could have done that. Let's go back. Okay,
First
so
high ground.
Behind us to the left. They're in the room.
so we got Widow. It looks like some of us are following up on this one, which is good. And okay, so we were chasing this kill here, which was good. But if we had Lucio on point,
just died.
then we could have just already like tried to go after their
Alright,
Lucio
so
that
push
just
up
peeked,
from
right?
pushing in.
Reaper's behind to the right.
If the Reaper becomes a problem, maybe an Ana.
And I do like that we're holding up. We're making lots of space, right? We're holding this corner because if we would let them come back and hold us at this choke down here, that would have not been good. But we push up, we make lots of space as the tank, so that's really good to see. And we have one person on payload while the rest of us are up here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
They will need a heal.
Sombra behind.
We got this shattered.
At this point, you lost your Rhine.
Reaper's coming up.
Kind of, you want to try to back out. Yep. So just back out, back out. Use speed boost, back out.
I'm hacked.
Yeah, don't go around this corner. Just even go back to spawn. Whatever makes it so you guys aren't getting picked.
Do you want the grab? Or do you want to wait?
This
was a weird Lucio ult by the
They
enemy.
just use beat though.
I would
I'm
not
full
have
charge.
ulted there.
Okay. If you can throw grab on payload.
It's
I'll
good
throw
we
grab
didn't
on
die to that one.
I thought
Okay,
about
I'll
being
grab.
fully charged.
Sombra's down.
I'll grab now.
So I don't know if we communicated those ults. They worked out really nicely, right? We had a nice grab, we had a nice Diva bomb. But yeah, definitely communicate what you're ulting. Although we did use.
Somebody on point. We need to use one person on party.
I think Volm did say, like, if you can grab the payload.
Okay.
Push Ryan.
So it was communicated? Good, good.
There's a
Sombra's
Sombra
behind.
coming around near point. Yeah. She's in the room to the right of the cart.
It's good we're
Her
contesting the
translocator's
Sombra.
destroyed, so she shouldn't be able to teleport away.
But don't let her distract you so much that you give up your front line for sure.
Rain help, rain help.
Yep.
Oh shoot.
And as we know with Sombra, when she ults, it removes all of Lucio's shield. So that's.
Getting back, getting back, getting back.
Sorry, that figured out.
Focus Diva. Diva's one. Reaper behind us and
I'm hacked.
Sombra.
Reaper hustle,
is
Reaper
Sombra.
hustle. It's probably.
Sombra one. Sombra's down.
Good DM.
Focus Reaper. Reaper's down. Focus
This is
Ryan.
just, it's nice to see like the team is coordinating, everyone's grouped well together.
Rain one, rain one.
Sombra behind us.
We're communicating where the enemies are. So I mean, like, this game really was really nice to see. So, I don't know, we might have just not been aware of this, but we saw Sombra throw the translocator, right? So first of all, if you see the translocator here, destroy it, because it only has like 5 HP, and it removes her ability to escape. And then just be aware, like, if you saw it kind of thrown from behind,
I think I saw it and I tried to kill it, but just as I was like aiming towards it,
yep,
she used it. If I recall correctly, she uses it like right away.
right there. It was there for a little while. Yeah, so if we had destroyed that, and then the rest of us noticed that she was back here, she wouldn't have been able to escape, and that's a free kill. This is nice, we demech the Diva. Again, we're pushing up, which is really nice to see. I would have more of the team go up where Cloud is.
Go push with Ryan. Push with Ryan.
And Photo calls it out. Beautiful, beautiful.
Reaper on top. Where's Reaper?
We're bubbling
behind
Cloud.
right now.
To the left.
Somebody's behind
She's
room.
near you, Brigitte.
Ryan's half.
Diva's up on point.
Oh. So yeah, the Diva has practiced this. Just knocking the Diva bomb off the ledge like that. That's something to just be aware of. And it just kind of caught us off guard there.
Ryan's half.
So yeah, just push and then. Oof. And it was positioned in such a way where you weren't really safe here or really here, so that was a good play on her part. And then now just back out.
So I don't usually play D.Va, so that's like a thing you can do. You can
Yes.
push your bomb off the side.
Yes.
That's sneaky.
Isn't it? Yeah.
How?
Yeah, it's just like any other character model where you just kind of lightly nudge it.
Okay.
And
I
it
see.
can
Yeah, you
fall
have
off.
to leave it on the edge, and
Mhm.
then you can push it.
Yeah. So like I've seen some people do that on Gibraltar. They put it on the bridge, like on that second point there, where you have the the spaceships there that you can climb up on there. So they put the D.Va bomb on that bridge and then they push it off the last second and then it just team wipes. Yeah. So okay. Yep, so that's just something to be aware of. At this point we want to reset. Now there's two ways we can reset. We can dive really quickly, preferably to this Moira ult because she's not gaining ult charge off of you. Photo, I would have gone just down there. Because
I just suicide.
Yeah. Because you're not really going to get out of here, right?
Yeah.
It's possible Cloud could have maybe charged out, but yeah, it's which it looks like she does.
I was fully charged and I decided to suicide.
Yeah, you're fully charged, and I know you want to keep that charge, but I think you die here.
And I died because I wanted to.
Yeah. But still, like, as you're hopping back, I think you probably still gave him some ult charge, right? And your death was a lot later than if you had just jumped off.
Yeah, we gotta go back.
Like right here, right?
Oh.
So yeah, two things: faster respawn, and you're not feeding the enemy ult charge.
Yeah.
And I know part of that's probably you got hacked. You might have had bubble to get out, maybe.
I killed myself. No,
But like,
I didn't even have the bubble, but
oh.
To the right.
Well, I think at that point, what you did do, like, considering where you were at that point,
okay, I'm back.
yeah, just firing at the ground, and that works too.
Damage and
Yeah.
have my grab.
Pretty much.
I have my grab.
Okay, I
Sombra
have
was up
bomb.
in the bridge. Might be empty.
Okay, let's get rid of Sombra and then I will grab.
Yep, Sombra's behind us.
This is just,
Shit.
Somehow
there's not much you can honestly
Get back,
do.
get back. Get back.
But somehow you survive and you counter it.
I didn't see Cloud countering it, and I called back the team, and I let her die. I didn't notice, and I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Behind us.
Because this was...
She went,
okay.
she went full aggro and got the team down. Get back, get back, get back. And I didn't notice it. We could have pushed that.
Could have. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to like come back, and then like suddenly switch to huge shatter, go 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 go, something like that.
Get back. We lost a healer.
Careful with the Reaper.
I mean, you did have a good point. We lost the Moira, right? And maybe we could have saved shatter instead of using it here, but I guess while they're shattered, if we could get some picks, that would be great.
We lost
So that's probably just miscommunication, and that's okay. It happens. But what's good is we're backing up here. Yeah, we're backing up here. We're regrouping.
Do you want me
So
to
that's
grab
good.
now?
Yeah, you can grab whenever you can.
Okay.
Communicating your
I'll
ults.
grab in 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful grab.
Oh, that was a misclick.
First one.
So
You can grab whenever you
I know Vulnerate was on D.Va, but if anyone else plays D.Va and you want a combo like this, what you could do is you could either do that L bomb that we talked about, where you go this way and then up. So by the time it comes back kind of down, it actually explodes above Ryan's shield. or you can actually face it into the ground towards this direction, so it'll kind of like slowly slide and then explode in the middle of them. So Ryan might be able to only shield like half of the team. So there's just a couple of things you can do, because otherwise he can easily like turn around like that. Although the benefit of Ryan turning around like that is it leaves the rest of the enemy team open, right? But they do have that Lucio beat, so they were able to survive that.
Reaper's one.
Oh, okay. Did we see what happened there?
Divas one.
We got a huge shatter here. Oh, it was the D.Va bomb. It kind of okay.
Divas one.
We couldn't really follow up on the shatter because the D.Va bomb.
D.Va dead.
That makes sense.
Someone's behind us someplace.
Push, push.
It's amazing. Heart.
Yeah, we got.
It's a good awareness that you saw her there or heard her there. We kinda okay. Yep, we're back.
Somebody's behind us.
Focus, Ryan.
Ryan's behind.
Now we're down way too many again. So again, whoop, whoop. Just do it.
Okay, we lost. We lost the fight. We lost the fight. Go,
It's just
get
supports
back or die.
left.
Get back or die.
Now somehow we managed to get out of that safely. But if can you imagine like if someone had just died there, the rest of the team's already respawned, and now they have to wait another 10 seconds for you to come back.
Rally again.
I have shatter.
We had.
I think this is something that maybe we can just be aware of too, like keeping track of when the Sombra's gonna EMP, because they're gonna combo ults together like that.
3 dead, 4 dead.
But we quickly regroup,
Last
which is
push.
again really
Get
really good
together.
to see.
D.Va ulti. D.Va gonna ult.
Yeah, and with
D.Va
this
ulti.
this D.Va up here, and Photo calls it out too, like a D.Va should not be back here, right? It doesn't make sense. So the reason why she's back here is she probably wants to launch something this way, right? While everyone's pushing and has their back towards her, and then get like a cheeky bomb off that way.
D.Va gonna ult.
Cheeky
definitely.
bomb.
And look, that's what she did, right? Or tried.
Yeah, I got me fully charged.
I like the Moira ults,
I'm
like we're
hacked, I'm
pushing
hacked.
now, we're trying to sustain team. Go, go, go.
I'm gonna grab. 3, 2, 1.
Another
Ryan
nice grab. That Sombra though got EMP really quickly.
There is only 2. There is only 2. Push, 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 push.
This is great.
Very good job, guys.
The only thing I would have done is like communicate who's staying on cart, because I was afraid that you guys were gonna C9 the point, right? Because we're saying push, 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 but we're in overtime, right? And ideally we'd want Lucio up with the tanks, right, to help them navigate where they need to go. But we don't want to abandon the payload, so it might just be best to communicate who's staying on payload, or if we want 3 on payload, you know, whatever the plan is.
Healing more behind you guys.
Okay, and
Healing more behind you guys.
I think we can kind of see like one of the mistakes here, like with the D.Va bomb, we want to shield that, because I think someone gets picked. Although, okay, so Vulnerate was already kind of in a bad spot back here, but I would have tried to shield that D.Va bomb.
Focus, Reaper.
Reaper half. Reaper half.
Ryan behind you guys.
Good call on the Ryan.
Basically everybody in
Focus,
front of
Demon.
me.
Demon's one.
la teammate.
We popped both support ults, which isn't ideal, but it's overtime, and I know
now?
we're trying to push. It's hard to coordinate, but if you can, call out who's gonna ult next.
Reaper's down. Moira's half.
Moira no fade.
Nice. Oh, nice,
Nice.
Matrix.
Oh, that was a great.
Yeah. That was a good use of the diva right there. Alright. So that was King's Row. Do we have any questions on King's Row? No?
Maybe it's not like a question, but
Observation's fine. Whatever.
something I noticed is that as a tank, I was too talkative.
I don't know. I think more communication is better than none.
Yeah.
You know, like you had some good call outs.
Mhm. I think I would rather hear too much than not enough, and I don't think yours was too much, to be honest.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah. So yeah, King's Row was your best map. Like, just the way everyone was pushing together, grouped, communicating. It was so good to see. So maybe we can run more goats in the future because it seems like that's a comp that we can really thrive in. And maybe that's
I know
because
a lot of us practiced it this week, you know, outside of scheduled team practice, and we had a lot of luck with it.
Oh, okay.
As a spectator, it was nice to watch you guys take it too.
It kind of confused me a little though,
Go to
because
main or
it seemed like both of the tanks were saying go in or come back. I think the confusing part is who should be directing goats?
I think it should be the Lucio. Because Lucio has the speed boost, and he can control whether you're pushing forward or backing up. That's just my opinion. At least on the jewels, we kind of all communicate like together. Sometimes, you know, input's very vocal. She plays
Super
a lot
vocal.
she plays a lot of Zen on our team. Like, we'll run Zen goats, and she'll also do some shot calling there and say group up, you know, back up, push forward, whatever. And I think part of that too is because with Zen you can put your Discord orb on like a Rhine and just say push into the Rhine, you know, go go go. So I think a lot of the times it's the supports that are communicating. And Lucio's a pretty good one to do that because he can control where the team's going.
Alright. I'll keep that in mind for future games.
Does that Zen thing carry over for dive? Like, because earlier you said
Yeah.
Winston picks the target, but does Zen pick the target with this?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I would say
Maybe
maybe
a Zen
Zen
you
would try to
can-
Discord
Whoever's
Winston sets a target. Yeah.
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 that-
It's coordinated.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I would say anyone on the team might be able to call out to an extent, like if they notice someone out of position, you know, because just because you're the monkey who's initiating, you may not always see like that one person who should be dove at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm bringing these up is because sometimes I feel confused as to who's gonna be leading the charge when we either gonna dive or run goats. That's what.
Yeah. Well, and I did see sometimes like Cloud was going a little aggro and pushing up forward, and maybe that wasn't really communicated. So I think at that point you do want the tanks communicating some things, right? So I think anyone can really shot call, but maybe like in more professional play you'd see more of the Lucio doing it. But I think we can all benefit from it.
Yeah, I think Sarah said it earlier too. Like we might need to just help whoever's pushing forward a little much and be like, "Hey, come back" or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this isn't like a great analogy, but for example, like in soccer, usually the one that calls the shot is either the goalie or like one of the fullbacks because they get to see the whole
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
And
sure.
in that regard, like in Overwatch, that would be like the support, so it
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, it always feels more natural, like if I'm playing a support, you know, just because you can see everything that's going on, like you said.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. All right. Anything else? Are we good to keep going? Do we need a break at all?
I'm good.
I think this
I'm
is
ready to go.
it, isn't it?
Uh,
Go.
No, there's one more map, isn't there?
and we don't have to do all of the maps today because I
Ignore
know
that.
it might go
That's been really helpful, though.
late. Yeah, because we got.
Okay.
How about we do Wait, do we? Let's have a vote. Do we want to do Busan or do we want to do Route 66?
This is a hard choice.
I'm leaning.
I'm okay reviewing the bot, but I don't know if people doesn't want.
I guess I'm kind of leaning. This is my coach opinion towards Busan because I kind of want to see what went wrong, why we started to kind of like not perform as well. Because like by Route 66, I think some of us were tired, so we can kind of have that as part of the reasoning behind it. But for Busan, I'm not really sure what happened.
You want to know where the tilt was?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, I recall Route 66 being very rough.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly.
So, but what does the team want to do?
I'll go with the coach's opinion.
Same.
Are we good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Sure.
And who are we?
Again.
And
Separated.
Oops, too far. Okay, so here we are. We're running goats again, which I think is a valid choice. The only thing to keep in mind with this point especially is there's quite a bit of high ground, and the only one that can contest high ground is D.Va. So if they start running a bunch of snipers, someone that's perching up top, and they become a problem, you know, that's something to consider. And actually, I do remember kind of why things didn't go so great here. The enemy comp, right? They ran the Mei, who is a big problem. I think this was one of your biggest problems. And then the Reaper. So they basically recognize that, hey, they're probably going to run goats. We kind of want to go counter goats. And it worked well for them. Okay, so here we're pushing forward through the side part, straight to point, which I do like, that we just kind of went and capped point.
So stay here.
We've at least got a
You're safe.
D.Va.
He's good.
D.Va Reaper.
Someone from the top is safe.
May. They're basically running anti-goats.
You're cut off.
So yeah, this was a good Mei wall right here. It cut off Cloud.
Oh, I got walled. Yeah, in prison.
We were separated.
Sorry for my camera work.
Is Reaper
It's like, how do I see
top?
see everyone with this pillar here?
In prison.
No.
Yeah, so the Lucio boop. I would always be like, if you ever go towards the side or towards the health pack here, just think in your mind, do they have a Lucio? Because they're gonna want to like boop you off all the time.
I have shatter.
Another
Right,
quick shatter.
In prison.
And wow, that Reaper got ult so fast.
Okay, I'll work for you guys here.
And it's
Oh.
because
Backing out.
we fed him quite a bit of ult charge, right? We're running a bunch of tanks. But we also have a ton of ults. So
We're gonna have to counter the Reaper at the very least. Because with the Mei, he's killer.
so with them running the Reaper,
Okay.
what we might want to keep in mind is utilizing speed boost and kind of try to
We
keep
need
some
something
distance
long
from him
range
if possible, because
so
he's he's
maybe
strong
a
at close
creep,
range,
yes,
um,
or
as
an
well
op,
as wanting to stun
so we
him.
made him
Oops, why is that an
with him.
X? Sorry about that. Wanting to stun him with the
Maybe
Brigitte
can you go,
shield
Makoto?
Do you
bash.
want to go back to
I
Hanzo?
can go,
And I
sorry,
can-
Anna.
And when he's stunned, you want to call it out and
Yes,
try to
let's
burst
go.
him down as quickly as possible before he wraiths away.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen Kiro do a decent
Okay, I will
amount.
stay Saria then.
Alright. So trade?
This was really awkward here too.
Okay, but we gotta.
We need to figure out comps faster. And maybe that's something we discussed before, like going into the map. Okay, so maybe we talked about let's run goats, right? But what is our plan B? What are we running if we need to switch off? And so there's a lot of confusion,
Do it quickly, guys.
and you'll see how much
Alright,
time just kind of got away. Because besides that first push,
Just,
they're already
push me.
like we haven't pushed,
For
and
next
it's
time we
already
need to,
halfway there.
prepare plan A, B, C.
Yeah,
we
we
were
can talk
losing
about it
time.
after.
You split out?
This is again a lost fight. The Mei walls were
Sorry,
just
I didn't
clutch
see you, and I
in
had
separating the
bubble
team.
to cover you.
I would get out of here.
I had fade. I thought I was far enough. I didn't want to use
So we're staggering very hard.
I'm dying.
it. Let me
I'm
know when
dead.
you're gonna use Shatter.
Cause look, by the time like Photo dies, it looks like Cloud's already kind of back.
You're split
And
out.
then, oh, this was a really bad stagger.
Yeah, they walled me. I couldn't go back.
Yeah, and I understand that. It's just we all should have pulled back a lot sooner.
We gotta go.
I'm gonna switch.
Because we would have wanted to be as a team and then push
We've
with
gotta
Yeah, we
get the
have to
with
points.
go.
speed
Okay,
boost.
I'll go.
And then there's miscommunication as which direction we're going. And if we go down here, like I said, that Lucio, like a good Lucio will be kind of like camping up here, like, hey, let's see if they go this way. And then once they do, he boops you all off. Or if they ran a Winston, I've seen this happen too. They run a Winston and then they boop you all off with Primal. So that's
Grab.
We
and you can
gotta go. We
go
gotta
bomb.
go.
Go.
Grabbing 3, 2, 1.
I was surprised we were able to touch point. So that was good that we were able to do that.
Big slam.
Oh no, I didn't have bubbles.
But we couldn't really capitalize on our ults, right? We used a bunch of ults, but it was so disjointed, and maybe part of that's because there were only a few of us that could get to point the touch, and then some of us were still respawning, so we didn't have a lot of follow-up.
Be a pharmacy next map. Because Reaper doesn't really have the range to deal
I
with
think
that.
the staggering and the Mei walls were what really, and not having a plan B were what really hurt
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
that first point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they change anything?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, you're
It's good that we did change to something else. We knew goats wasn't
supposed
working.
to tell us.
No, if they
Rock
change
hard,
yeah,
Diva.
they're-
Reaper's
And I do like the pharmacy pick because Reaper can't deal with you. Mei really can't deal with you either. Your only real contest is the diva. So pharmacy should work really well here.
Reaper's right by himself.
And the Sombra could
Mei
work
with the
too
wall
if
up.
you're hacking the Mei, so she can't use her abilities.
And I got.
Lose your hack, lose your hack.
But look again how quickly.
Reaper's right by himself.
May you put the wall up?
And
right.
I don't know if it
Where?
was just that we weren't really grouped.
Reaper's right by himself.
Because we see, okay, so we see the wall here, and we don't really have supports here, do we?
By himself.
May you put the
So
wall
it's just
up?
tanks by themselves,
And I got.
Lose your hack, lose your hack.
and now they're just kind of getting picked.
Lose your hack again.
Yeah, nobody's
Ah,
able to
shit.
get to the point yet.
May got me.
Yeah, and that's unlucky.
Alright.
There's somebody behind
Hello?
me. Or is my imagination?
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, I didn't know if I was lagging or not. Sorry.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. Oof.
May well get pinned.
Yeah, and if we had bubble, we definitely want to use it, but I'm not sure if we did or not. And the Mei is just... See, and this is the difficult part too, because we have pharmacy, right? So Mercy's going to primarily be with the Pharah, which means we need quite a bit of healing on the ground, right? So we're running the Moira to heal our tanks. But then we don't have the Lucio to kind of keep a distance from the Mei. If Mei freezes someone, like freezes Zarya and is lining up the headshot, as Lucio you could boop the Mei away to save your teammate. So sometimes Lucio's actually useful to kind of soft counter the Mei.
Reaper's by himself. He's half.
We got him. We can get. Yeah. That's how we had him.
Don't get walled off. I'm gonna try to get behind them to ult.
So it feels like a lot of this time we're not doing a lot of damage. In Photo, you're kind of charging your EMP slowly. I don't hear you calling out hacks. It seems like we're not really doing too much. And most of the time it's the tanks trying to push and then they kind of get punished for it. So this was a good pick on the Rhine. Theoretically we should push and win, right?
Frozen.
We picked the Reaper as well. And this Cloud is just kind of getting bullied, unfortunately. And I'm not sure if... It looks like we're trying to heal her, but maybe we just can't out-heal that.
Thank you.
But I think we really should have been able to win that last fight, because we got so many picks, but we couldn't really follow up. And once again, we're getting frozen. Not a great grab, and then we couldn't touch point. I think that was all. That was actually pretty quick. So what are the team's thoughts on that one?
Well, on the first map, I think it boils down to what you said.
Yep.
The switch in the comp was very slow.
Mm-hmm.
We had like, oh, what about if we run this? No, we'll run this other thing. So there's a lot of confusion there, and by the time that we kind of like settled on something, it was like 70% taken.
Yep.
So it was really hard. And then the second point, I don't know. It's like you were saying, we had a lot of good picks toward the end, but we didn't try to like push point.
Well,
and
I kind of want to go back just really quick.
Like,
First one.
So I don't mean to pick on you, Photo, but we didn't get EMP until the very end, and then you died. So I think part of the problem was we didn't have enough DPS, because we really should have won that fight. I didn't really hear any hacks, like clutch hacks on the Rhine or the Mei. So it just seemed like the Sombra wasn't working. And it happens. So I think that was just part of the problem there.
Yeah, I did hack, and I did call out my hacks, but I couldn't hack every time I could. I mean, they were so protected, I couldn't just go there and hack somebody. And I backed out a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
that's why I felt useless in that point.
Yeah.
And I tried to think who might be more useful, but I didn't want to lose the EMP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, there's a few things. So I'm not really sure who you were hacking. I'm sorry, I didn't really catch that when I was watching.
I tried to pick Lucio 3 times.
Okay.
I hacked him like 2 times. I tried to pick the Mei, but I got hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to pick again Lucio. I did hack Lucio. And when Cloud decided to push, I tried to see who was with his ults already.
Yeah.
And tried to hack them again.
Mm-hmm.
But I was picked easily because I was trying to go for them, but from behind.
See, and
they spot me quickly.
Yeah, so there's a few things there. Sometimes, sometimes it can work to play Sombra like completely in the backline, like what you're doing, and harass the support. But if you're not able to burst down like the Lucio by yourself, and you're just kind of hacking him, it's not really opening up opportunities for the team, right? I think if you maybe like, let's say the enemy's pushing forward, like they're right here and they're trying to pick you, and maybe you're like sneaky right here, you hack the Rhine, and now that gives an opening for your team to push. That is more valuable. I mean, if you can get a Lucio pick, that is valuable too, but I didn't see it happen. So in some senses, it might have just been better to hack the Rhine or the Mei, but usually I go for Ryan's, because it makes such a good opportunity for your whole team to push, as well as if you're hacking the tanks, maybe even like a hack on the D.Va, that's so much free ult charge, because not only do you want to be hacking the enemy to allow your team to capitalize, because Sombra just doesn't do a lot of damage by herself, right? So a lot of it's enabling your team, and so you want to hack the enemies that are kind of close to your team, because that leaves them like in a bad spot once they're hacked. They have no defensive abilities. So part of it's that, and part of it is building your EMP fast, because EMP is it can win fights easily, and just building EMP off of like a hack tank is huge. If you can do that and just keep EMPing the enemy team, you can definitely win fights that way. So I think that's a better way to play Sombra, just because I didn't really see the picks on the Lucio. Sometimes you're way in the back and then you got picked by the Mei once, and it's just, I think we could get more value if we're with the rest of the team and it doesn't feel like so much of a 5v6, enabling the team and charging EMP faster, because this was a really slow EMP. And if you feel like you're not able to do that for whatever reason, maybe the map's not working, maybe what your team is running or the enemy's team is running is not working, part of playing Sombra is knowing when to switch off Sombra. That's kind of like a phrase, right? And I do the same thing. Sometimes it works and it's amazing, and sometimes it does not, and you need to switch. So that's just what I'm suggesting. I'm not trying to pick on you. It's just, as a Sombra player, I'm trying to give you my knowledge, okay?
Oh, don't worry. You should have been more, I don't know. I should feel more chastised by you. But yeah, I get it.
Okay. All right. Anything else about this map that we noticed?
I think we were also a little separated, because it's like we were running 2 tanks, but then one tank would go one way, the other tank would go the other way.
Yep.
And since we were running a pharmacy, we needed the tanks to like be together
Mhm.
so that the other support could heal both tanks.
Yep.
Because the Pharaoh was being pocketed.
I completely agree. Yeah. And knowing that they have the Mei too, if the tanks are together, the Zarya can bubble Ryan if Ryan gets charged, or Ryan gets frozen, whatever that may be. The tanks can kind of help each other out that way. But then, yeah, we definitely want to be close so the Moira can help heal them too.
It's a good thing to talk about, like maybe if the Mei's being a problem, maybe running a Lucio instead. So that's something we think about in the future.
For sure. Okay. So that's all I had for this. Did we want to do Route 66 or do we want to call it on that? I'm okay with either one.
I don't mean to ask for a lot, but I would like to see
Yeah, I
the
think it's
rest.
really like valuable and helpful information.
Sure.
You give so many, so much good advice, Fiery.
Aww.
Like little things like the Lucio that Bandit pointed out. That's awesome.
Aw, I'm glad I can help. As long as you guys aren't getting bored by my talking.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No.
I'm curious though, is it like against I don't know, some like unspoken protocol of these scrimmages that like the coaches can't like say more stuff during?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure how other teams do it. I think some teams do have it where the coach is like coaching them throughout. And the coach just has to make sure that they're not giving out like crucial information like, hey, we see the enemy Sombra over here, something like that. But kind of calling out more like switch to this strategies, this. So sometimes there is that, but I also want you guys to just be able to figure that out on your own. I like giving advice in between. Because I want you to be able to do this in a real competitive match, a real tournament match, whatever it might be, to be able to figure it out yourself and adjust accordingly.
So I can't just, if I do a tournament, I can't just have you come with me?
No. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think like there could be value if maybe you did that, you know, for us once or twice, like when we're in quick play, just so we can like experience in real time, like to see how effective things are when we do switch and work out problems like in that moment.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I agree. Like for scrims, I think it's good to kind of practice it on your own with no coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if we learned anything.
Yeah. But I think it could be nice to maybe try that out with you coaching us like during a quick play or something.
Yeah, sure. It's also hard like watching it real time and giving feedback real time.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's also part of the reason why I don't coach. I don't want to overwhelm you with information while you're trying to play the game. Okay.
Try to sneak a ride.
Your wisdom helps.
Nope, too late. Everybody's here. No swapping.
No.
I second the motion.
Yay, I'm glad I can help.
No.
Okay. Whew. Okay, so first let's go with our comp. Orisa Hog works very well together. We got the Ashe. I do like the Ashe pick. There's nice sightlines here on the map. The Junkrat can definitely help spam any sort of like under here or up top, or even just down main. And then we have Moira and why did that become an arrow? Moira and Brigitte. I'm not sure about the Brig pick. I guess the reason why is because we're probably going to be kind of turtling up here, right? So Brig can't do anything while she's up here, really. And if she drops down here, she's by herself because like Ashe might be on high ground, Junkrat's going to be spamming from a distance. It's only once we all drop as a team down here and maybe we put a shield here, Brig's going to be able to kind of push forward a little bit. But I just maybe I'd prefer like a Zen if we're going to be keeping a high ground. And then Zen could put like an orb on photo right now. It's also really risky photo to be out here because as my
Heals
team
can't get you.
Yeah, as what my team found out is in the attacker spawn for Route 66, there is a part of the spawn. I wonder if I can here. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit and see if I can find it. I think I went inside the spawn.
What do you want?
Or did I leave it out here? Sorry.
We're just gonna have to be shipping.
Okay, so I don't think I got it. So, okay, you see the spawn here, right? And then there's this little wall that's right here.
Yeah.
So there's the healing part kind of extends this way. If you have your Widow like right here, she has sight lines straight to that rock. And she is completely protected because it's that healing barrier. You can't take damage back there. So she has clear sight lines and cannot get counterpicked. So what the Jewels do a lot is just start with a Widow. Maybe the Widow will switch off to something else like a few seconds later, but basically the Widow just stays in that spot, tries to get a quick pick on whoever's up there, and then can stay Widow or switch off. So I guess what I'm saying is the attacker spawn has a clear sight line on you, and you can get picked pretty easily.
Okay. I'll take that in account.
You don't have to.
I didn't know that.
No.
What you could do is, maybe if it reaches, you could throw a dynamite like a couple seconds before the door opens.
That's why I was there. I was trying to throw a dynamite 5 seconds before it initiates because that's the time that takes it detonate.
Yep, and that's a good idea. It's just be aware of your positioning. And actually, they do switch to a Widow. So if they had been a Widow at the start, you could have... I mean, you're standing still, right? Easy headshot.
I see.
Is that a bastion?
Yeah.
It sounds like a bastion.
Throw dynamite.
Yeah,
And it looks like you went in here, right, Photo? It would have been better if you could use your movement ability to get up here behind the team and then just start firing on them this way, throw a dynamite this way, something like that.
Yeah, I was trying to get back and I failed.
Ooh, and this was just kind of like, I think it just bursted down by that bastion. So we called it out.
Not gonna last.
Nope.
And I'm just seeing like how quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shield's not gonna last.
So we kind of peaked without being
And
healed.
being damage boosted.
We have double shields too.
So I think the bastion maybe also
They have a
tilted us because from what I remember, they kind of ran this through the entire way. And we weren't really able to stop it.
Okay, so Bandit.
And it's rough because they're running double shields.
I have a question. Because like knowing what to pick is something I struggle with. So for the how do I want to phrase this? So if you're in a position like high ground, kind of do what we're doing what we're doing, like you probably don't want to brig, is what you're saying, because she needs to be like in the fight doing her area of effect healing, right?
Yep.
Okay, so all right, that's something to keep in mind. Okay.
And if you see them run bastion, you want to switch right away. Don't run brig into a bastion because there's no way you can approach them without getting melted. You're absolutely you can't use your abilities. You're useless basically as Brigitte against the bastion.
So the Zen would have been a better pick just because of where we were.
I think so. And I think like Brig synergizes a little bit better with a Ryan Zarya comp.
Okay.
Because
Alright.
the Ryan's going to be pushing forward, right? And moving around
Yeah.
and going a little
And you
more
can do some
aggro.
whacking that way, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Reinhardt shield.
You're already on the second.
Okay, okay. Get back, get back. Maybe we need to reset.
So we know what the enemy comp is. We know the bastions and the shields are a problem. So Junkrat's a solid pick for bursting down shields. It's going to be very difficult though because it's double shields. I would switch off Ashe right away. Ashe is kind of like a sniper. So she doesn't have like the kind of burst damage to burst down the shields, right? And I kind of
would like a double burst damage work better considering the 2 shields. Like
yeah,
say Junkrat with Fair.
could do that.
Okay.
Sometimes Hanzo even can, if you're using your storm arrows, can burst down shields pretty quickly. Yeah, anything that has a little bit more consistency. That's one approach to this bunker comp is throw as much damage as you can towards it. The Hog's a good choice to do that as well. And try to destroy them that way. I think also later maybe we suggested using the Mei wall to boost the Bastion up, because if he's up here and he's trying to shoot, yeah,
I remember that.
Then you can focus him down that way. And I felt kind of bad because I told Photo switch off Sombra last game, and then this game I'm like, oh man, we should run Sombra. Because if you can, as long as you can charge your EMP, you EMP this team, they're done. They have no shields, Bastion is no longer in turret mode, and it's just the team can all collapse on the enemy team after an EMP and just destroy them. And once you have picked Bastion and you've won the team fight, it is your goal to not let Bastion set up again. Because, I mean, then he'll just sit on the cart and they're all in a good position and they'll push it again. So at that point, everyone kind of pushes forward. Don't let the Bastion set up again. And try to make the Bastion actually switch off. So Sombra is also a really good counter to these kind of bunker comps.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Ashe can try to.
And in that case, if we do run a Sombra, it's her goal to charge EMP as quickly as possible. You know, hacking like a Ryan it'll take down one shield, but there's still the Orisa shield. I mean, at that point, I would, as a Sombra player, I would just go behind them, try to shoot them as much as I can, build that ult charge, have a safe translocator spot out, like I like this top part here. And then just try to build it as quickly as you can. So there's a couple approaches, whether you want to zone them out or burst down the shields and just try to do it that way. But there needs to be like a clear plan, because this is a really difficult comp to deal with. D.Va is another good pick. Because your shields are not going to last.
Your tank wouldn't have been bad.
What was that?
A tier tank wouldn't have been bad then.
I'm not sure I'm understanding.
You were saying D.Va is a good pick too.
Yes, yes.
So, a tier tank wouldn't have been bad.
Potentially, yes. Yeah, because I like the Hog to help burst down the shields. Ryan's shield is going to get melted. I'm not sure if Ryan is the pick here. Orisa's shield also gets melted, but a little bit slower, but still gets melted. So I don't know if you run a Hog D.Va? I don't know. This is something even I struggle with to play against. But I'm just saying which heroes do help. D.Va for sure, defense matrix, and at that point it's coordinating. Okay, we're gonna push in 3, 2, 1. D.Va pushes in boosters with defense matrix, blocks all the damage, and then maybe if you have a Ryan, he starts swinging into the enemy team, you know, Junkrat spamming, whatever it is, but just burst them down as quickly as possible. But the important thing is it needs to be a team coordinated effort. You cannot one by one try to deal with it because it will not work. So there's a couple ways to deal with it, but each of them rely on huge team coordination to overcome it.
I'm there on patrol. I almost have Bob.
See, and actually, like here, you can see Bastion's not even really set up anymore. He's dancing around here. So if I was Sombra, I'd be up here because I like taking high ground anyways, and I could hack onto the Bastion. So he's no longer at turret mode. He's just kind of walking around. And then if we had a Lucio, you could speed boost and just try to melt them as quickly as possible. That's another thing you could do if you're running the Sombra. See, even now, he's by himself, but we kind of...
I ran right into the Bastion.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Get back, get back, get back, get back.
If anybody plays May, we could try and lift that Bastion up. Because every time we burn one shield, they just put up another one.
Somebody want to switch to May?
Let me see, Junks, you don't have... Well, I mean, Scrim's good.
Widow's main.
I mean, I'll swap to May, but it will be
Widow
down
has
healer.
sights. Watch out.
I don't feel like I'm being a particularly effective rig anyway.
We can switch to Lucio if you want.
So yeah, switch off Ashe is definitely priority. Even if you use Bob, Bastion's just gonna melt Bob right away.
Yeah.
Lucy's okay, Lucy's okay.
Cease your resistance.
I feel like I can't even get close to use my mace or anything.
And if we had a tire could also work if you can kind of like get in the middle of it and destroy it that way. That also worked.
Yeah, Widow's up on the
Now this was an impressive stall. we stalled for a little while.
It's okay.
But it was definitely rough.
We're just gonna pirate.
I don't want to run. But maybe. Just maybe to give us a little breathing room if we need it.
I gotta work on my walls anyway.
If we're running a Bastion, run a Mercy so you can damage boost him as well as res him if he dies because you'll have the shields. And again, once you lose Bastion, it's usually that the enemy team won't let you set up again, and then Bastion can't work anymore. So if you have a Mercy who can res him and keep that pirate ship alive, that's ideal.
They're probably waiting for us down to the board.
They got Diva, Arista up on the gas station.
Shield's off, I'm gonna drop it.
Hanzo.
Doomfist is behind. Focus Diva.
Yeah, the Doomfist was a problem this time. He was flanking around a lot.
Got you?
I don't think this is gonna work.
That was a good use of the ice block and the wall bandit.
Okay.
Kind of baited out his punch there.
What should I switch to?
I'll admit that's not why I did it.
Oh, okay.
Do more
I did it to escape.
Well, I mean, you baited out the punch so you could escape, so yeah. Oh, you mean you just happened to put it up when he was punching?
Yeah. I was trying to GTFO, yeah.
I see. Hey, it worked.
Doomfist is behind.
Doomfist discarded.
You know, when I was watching this, I was reminded of like Tentaku's hero coaching and like May is a vampire, stay away from May. So I was like happy to see us run the May into the Doomfist.
Orion is dead.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
I have Blizzard.
Diva discorded half.
Hanzo's on the ledge up here with the
Diva
Doomfist.
mech. Hanzo.
So this is kind of like an unfortunate part of our comp. Although I do see. Oh, I thought maybe Kitty you were going up here. So our comp has really.
Probably was. You just missed the shot.
Yeah, yeah. That's okay. But we don't have a lot of mobility to get up onto this high ground, and that's where the Hanzo and the Doomfist is kind of like setting up. So what you could do is like Maya wall and like boost your whole team up here, and then like do it that way, or do the mine jump up there. But otherwise, we don't really have a lot of mobility, and that's just something to be aware of.
Ah, fuck! I
got
didn't
you.
do that.
And that happens. I'm not gonna get after you about that.
Ryan's dead.
Oh my fuck up when you queued in the wrong spot. Yeah,
I do that too.
Yeah, I always seem to do that when I play Zen for some reason.
I was unhappy about
that sleep on the baby diva. Oh,
Got her?
that was nice.
So you're saying use the Maywall to push up onto the gas station or up onto that ledge in
Yeah,
the back?
you could do that if you want to bring the whole team up to, or at least yourself, to get up to that high ground easily. You could do that.
Okay.
Just put the wall underneath your feet.
I'm gonna hit Q.
No, don't worry. They panicked. They panicked. That was necessary.
Hanzo's on bridge.
Hanzo discorded.
Doomfist is coming behind.
Somebody's going right. Right. I think it's Doomfist. Yeah. Doomfist discorded. Doomfist discorded.
You see what we're doing?
Ryan's one.
Mine's dead.
We totally left the payload.
Train on Diva. Doomfist by billboard. I'm low.
Because we're all
Don't
like,
be
in
some
different
point.
places.
Some point.
Yep. And then Doomfist was just kind of able to navigate around and get some picks there.
Vuln saved my ass here.
Yep.
Nice.
My ult too early. I hate it.
But I think if we had pushed it a little bit further, we could have
Thank you for the bubble.
gotten that.
Yeah, right
same
there.
as I like to be behind and high ground, so I couldn't take the payload.
Okay.
Those bubbles are amazing.
Tatiana?
Thank
Hanzo
you.
discorded.
I have Shatter.
He's behind.
And that's fine if we want to position ourselves to prevent the enemy team from coming back, but we want to keep someone on payload, right? Or see if we can cap it.
Behind billboard.
It was just
No,
unfortunate that we had
I'll
everyone
have
leave it.
Blizzard soon. Nice.
Doomfist behind.
Freeze
Don't be
Lucio.
discorded.
Lucio
Stop
dead.
that. Okay. We got this.
Alright, we got it. Alright. What? Does Grab and Blizzard work together very well?
They're both kind of
they
stopping.
So I would say
Okay.
so.
So okay, I think you figured it out. Don't use Grav and Blizzard, please.
Okay.
They both prevent the enemy from escaping. It zones them so they're all together, right? They can't get out. They can't move.
Okay.
So it's redundant to use both of them at the same time. So, well, even like Ryan Shatter, you don't want to do usually a Shatter with a Zarya ult or Shatter with the Blizzard. These are all kind of similar ultimates. So you could combine like Blizzard and Tire. That works. Actually, Tire is pretty much the only one you can really combo with one of these three. Everyone else doesn't really have another one to combo.
I'm ready to
Let's
Blizzard
just
with
wait
somebody.
until.
Yeah, I think just use Blizzard before, because it takes so long to get Grab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve's out of mech.
Ash and Hanzo are top right.
Somebody's behind. Oh.
Yeah, I thought somebody was
Sorry.
behind, but
But they weren't.
it
Okay.
was the dynamite.
I thought
Oh.
somebody was behind. It
Okay, so now we're down 3.
was the dynamite. Sorry.
We
I
got
have
shield down.
back.
I would go this way. Get away from them.
Go
Just
back.
regroup with your
There are only
team.
3.
and Photo noticed that and called it out, which was a good call out. See, yep,
I
and
couldn't
Cloud's
save
now
it, sorry.
staggered.
Okay. One more.
Okay, hate this Ash.
I think let's go top because they have Ash and Hanzo that we can't really reach from the ground.
Mine.
Careful.
This was scary.
I fucked up trans. I fucked up trans right there.
Oh.
I transed, but
I
Five.
ulted too late.
I
Sorry.
think we need to not
But
go.
none of them can combine
Ryan's
together.
coming from behind.
I activated to save them,
Mine Discord.
but I don't know why. I was going. My intention was to go forward, but I went backwards.
Okay.
And I was like, no, what are you doing? And then we're too dead.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's just something to keep in mind. Well, and sometimes it's hard to judge, like, you know, the dragons are going through here, right? Well, maybe Cloud could have been out of range right here, right? And maybe you don't really need trans. So sometimes it's like, do I actually need to use it? Do I not? Sometimes it's hard to decide.
I ulted too late.
I got stuck in the dragon.
Careful.
So, okay, we got
Damn it.
tanks
coming from
picked.
behind.
We definitely want to reset. Okay, we're now down a healer now. And watch how we keep getting picked. We're like peeking the Hanzo. And then we got another one picked and another one picked.
Pick us off.
So
We have a preference?
we don't have a lot of time.
Probably just when the next team fight starts.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do.
Hanzo used his ult. I think.
They're gonna have Bob for sure this next fight.
Yeah, Bob and.
So I think if we have like the Hanzo and the Ashe are causing quite a bit of trouble, we might want to consider dive or maybe like a Diva Rhine. Something that can deal with these guys a little bit more.
They used bomb already.
Reinhardt's
Don't
on
they?
the roof.
Because
They probably
May
have
can't
Shatter.
get up to them.
Hanzo's sitting
So they're
straight in lane.
completely out of the range of May. And the
Oh my
Junkrat,
God.
kind of same thing.
Without
You can
Diva.
kind of try to spam up there, but
Purple.
not too easily. And then this is just kind of we're desperate to try to touch point, try to stay alive. Yep, throwing ult. So that's it there.
Back.
So okay. So we have trouble against Bastion comp. I gave some suggestions for that. And then we might want to consider heroes with more mobility. Like I said, the Diva could have helped there to help dive the snipers for that attack there. So, any other questions, comments, observations?
We should definitely like practice more how to like counter a bastion,
Yeah.
counter turrets, counter Urza bastion. Because every time we get a bastion or we get a turret, we struggle.
Yep, for sure. So maybe as a team, like when we notice they're running something like that, we can kind of already have an idea in mind of what comp do we want to switch to. Kind of be aware of what heroes work and what heroes don't work against that comp.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
So you would have run a dive comp on that?
I think so. I think that Hanzo was getting a lot of work done, and the Ashe as well. Even if you don't switch completely to dive, like I said, you run the Rhine and the Diva. That could have worked. Also switch off the Mei unless you're able to use Mei to wall off like the Rhine from the Zarya. That's she's not really going to be able to contest the DPS at all, except trying to fire icicles towards them, which isn't really efficient. So I'd make some DPS switches there. You could actually go counter sniper too, to deal with them that way as well. But yeah, definitely I would have switched off a few comps. I think D.Va's a good one to bully snipers. Even if you don't kill them, you at least prevent them from having that high ground all the time, free, without any contest.
And that would have been, you said a Genji or a Tracer or a Sombra, right?
To deal with the snipers? Or the Bastion?
To do the dive DPS.
Yes. A Genji, a Tracer, Sombra, Doomfist, Pharmacy. So those are typical like DPS you run with dive. Against a sniper comp, some of those don't work as well. Like for example, the Tracer has trouble getting up to high ground. She doesn't have that mobility, so like a Genji would have been better against a sniper comp like that. So you could run dive with a Genji. Yeah, even like a dive Genji Widow. That could be something that counters the snipers. Yeah, Sombra can work against... I actually like to run Sombra against Widows because she can sneak up behind them and burst them down pretty quickly, but if the snipers are together like the Ashe and Hanzo were, it's a little more difficult. And Hanzo's more difficult to deal with as Sombra, so there's that as well. And if you're a good Doomfist, I'm sure you can kind of displace them, although they're not usually going to be where they're close to walls, so you might not be able to insta-kill them. So there's pros and cons to each of the DPS that you run with dive. Kind of depends on map and what the enemy's running. Good question. Alright, anything else before we end the VOD review?
I think just a thank you for all the pointers.
You're welcome, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, they're very helpful.
The VOD reviews are always great, thank you.
Okay. Great, I'm glad to hear that. So the VOD review will be available on our Twitch. It's streaming right now, it'll be saved. So you can always reference that later. If you have any questions or anything like pops in your head afterwards and you're like, oops, I forgot to ask that during the VOD review, always feel free to reach out to me. I'll be able to help you out. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Alright, great. Well, thank you.
Fiery.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
Good night.
Okay, night. Bye.